Hi everyone, I'm going to show you how to do the running stitch. The running stitch is the most basic hand sewing stitch, and you will need it to complete your sewing project. A few basic supplies that you will need in order to do this stitch: scissors, thread, your needle, ruler, and your belt. To start the running stitch, you're going to need your needle threaded with 36 inches of thread. You're going to double thread it, just like I showed you in the previous video, and tie a double knot. So I have my needle all ready to go. You're going to find the back of your fabric. For the felt, it doesn't matter because both sides are the same, but if you were doing a cotton print, you would want to choose the fabric that is lighter. That would be the back of the fabric. And then you are going to gently poke a hole through the back going to the front, and you're going to pull until your knot hits. For the running stitch, you're going to go over a small amount, just like this, and then pull your needle to the back. And that is your first stitch. You can see it's small, and you're going to keep doing that until you get to the other side of the fabric. You want to stay going in a straight line, and you want to pull so the thread is tight, but not too tight that it starts to create gathers or looks like a drawstring backpack. You wouldn't want that. And you're going to keep going. Just like this. So you can see that you want to keep them small, similarly sized, and evenly spaced. As you get more comfortable sewing, you'll be able to go through the fabric a little bit faster or pick up a whole stitch at once like I just did there. Sometimes it gets a little tangled and you're going to want to give the thread a nice firm tug to make sure that you're not getting any loops in your thread. You want your stitches to be as close together as possible to keep them strong. If they were spread out a lot, they would be weaker and it would be easier for them to break, which is not your goal when you are sewing. Sewing takes a lot of patience and a lot of practice, so if you don't get it right the first time, that's okay. Some students have found it to be easier to draw a line on their fabric and to follow the line. That way they know that they're keeping a straight line on the edge of their fabric. If that would make your life easier, you are welcome to do that as well. One of the most important things with sewing is you don't want to rush. You want to keep going evenly. When you start to rush, that's when you'll get little gaps or you'll have bigger stitches. So I don't want this video to be too long for you, so I'm going to show you how to tie a knot at the end. When you get to where you want to stop, and you should always stop when you have about the size of your hand length left. If you stop after, when you only have a smaller amount, it gets harder to tie a knot. So you always want to think like, is the thread smaller than my hand? If it is, you might want to stop and tie a knot then, so you don't run out and it doesn't make your life any harder. So when you get to here, you can see you're going to make a loop. See my loop? You're going to go through the loop and pull, and you can see that it makes a Y shape. When you get that Y shape, you're going to put your thumb where all threads meet and then pull. That makes a very small knot right at the edge of the fabric, which is where you want it to be. You're going to repeat that process for a double knot. You make your loop, you go through it, you pull, and then you make your double knot. And you can see that that knot gets a little bit bigger. I'm going to show it one more time because I went a little fast through that second one. So you're going to make a loop, cross through, so you come from the opposite side, and then you get that Y shape, and you kind of pull all three of them till it's flat on the fabric, and then you put your finger there and you pull. And that's how you make that final knot. You don't want your knot to be over here because it won't stay in the fabric then. So you want to keep your knot as close to the edge as possible. Once you have a knot that you're happy with, you're going to cut, And that's how you know you've done a successful running stitch, is when on the front, they are all even and there's no knots, and on the back, there are 2 knots and even stitches as well. Anyone have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, keep up the great work.